Hey, Bulls and Bears. It is January 2nd, 2022. We're going to talk about the housing market today, and I'm going to get into some trends and talk about trends that I've been noticing in my profession. And as most of you know, I do work in finance. I've worked in finance now for over 15 years. And so every day I talk to people about their financial situation, and I can give you insights on what I'm seeing in trends that are developing in the housing market and more. But more importantly, I get a broad view of people's finances because I don't just look at one sector. I'm not just in the housing sector. I'm not just in one sector. I'm in a sector that we look at the overall credit of people. And of course, that takes a lot into account. It looks at their debts, their monthly obligations. And what I'm seeing now out of homeowners is something that's developed, especially over the past few months here. Now, what's been happening in the housing market is inventory hasn't been rising as rapidly as it did over the summer. Now, that's happening for a few reasons. Some people look at it and they think that everything's going to reverse, that home prices are going to start going back up. As long as interest rates, mortgage rates stay where they're at, home prices will not go back up. And they don't even have to go higher. As long as they stay where they're at, home prices will continue to go down. Now, there's some things I'm going to talk about at the end of the video as far as home price predictions. But this topic today, what's happening in the housing market, home sellers are starting to panic. And I'm seeing it with the interactions that I have through my employment. I'm also seeing it in the numbers and the data here. But let's talk about what's kind of the big thing on people's minds. It is debt. And we saw a lot of home sellers pull their house off the market. So inventory is not rising as rapidly as it did even just a few months ago. Home sellers are going to wait for what they think is going to be a better time to sell the home. Some of these people think that mortgage rates are going to go down. If the Fed stays on the path that they're saying they're going to stay on, then mortgage rates are not going to go down. So that's a big mistake that sellers are making right there. If the Fed says what they're going to do, or if they do what they're going to, if they do what they are saying they're going to do. The other part of it is sellers know that the market is slower in the winter, so they take their home off the market. And once a home sits on the market for a long time, it starts to have less appeal. It doesn't have that newness factor or that freshness factor we see when there's a new listing. The homes that have the biggest competition or multiple bids are new listings. When homes sit on the market, they tend to get stale, and sometimes you'll see the seller take them off the market and relist it. Even realtors sometimes will have that strategy. Real estate agents will delist it, and sometimes immediately or sometimes a week or two later relist it, sometimes at a lower price, sometimes the same price, just to get it out there as a new listing once again. But it's interesting what's happening now. Home sellers are asking more and more about the direction of the market. Now, in my profession, I can't really give predictions because that gets into the whole area of financial advice. Here, I tell you my opinion. I say it's not financial advice because each location is different. Here in San Diego, we are already down 10%, San Diego County, from close to $1 million now down to about 900,000 on the median home price. So that's pretty significant. It's still unaffordable for most people, but it's pretty significant when you see a $100,000 price difference. So imagine buying a home 6 months later, you're $100,000 underwater, or you could have bought it for $100,000 less if you would have just waited. So that's pretty significant. Nationally, we're also down about 10%. Even Zillow's reporting here. Let me bring it up here, from about 440,000 down to about just under 400,000. And that's Zillow. That doesn't track every zip code, but gives you a pretty good snapshot on what's happening with the housing market. So home sellers right now are concerned because their home equity, which is their rescue, which is their life raft in some cases, is drying up. And what home owners typically used to do is when they got into debt or too much credit card debt, they couldn't pay off the credit card each month, they would take out a home equity line of credit. And home prices were going up so fast over the past few years that equity would rise faster than the debt. Even though they're taking out home equity lines of credit, and they would have, more debt because of that, their equity was rising even faster. So on paper, it still looked okay. So somebody took out a $50,000 home equity line of credit to pay off a bunch of other bills and credit cards, but then their median home price increased by $80,000. They look at that on paper and they say, wow, I'm gaining wealth. Look at this. I'm taking out debt. I'm borrowing against my home, but I'm gaining wealth because my home price is going up. Now the panic is setting in because these people that did take out these home equity lines of credit to pay off debt or whatever they did with it. Some people took vacation. Some people bought cars, etc. But that is dried up, and now sellers are beginning to panic. And I think we're going to see a big wave of homes for sale on the market earlier than normal. I think before even March. Typically, it's late March, early April when the snow starts drying up, or when the snow starts melting in many of the northern states. And that's going to be a telling sign this year. We're going to see inventory rise much faster than years past. Now, let's talk about what's happening with inventory here just lately. So right now, according to Zillow data, we're up 8.3% year over year. Not that big of an increase of home inventory. That's not really home or housing market crash type of numbers. In a housing market crash, you would expect to see bigger numbers on inventory. You would expect to see a surge of inventory. So that's one of the things that's keeping prices from falling faster, is there's such a low amount of inventory out there that's actually causing more of a shortage. So people are willing to bid higher, because there's not much to choose from. And what do I mean by bid higher? Well, when there's less inventory, you're going to have more people interested in the same home, and you're more likely to have bidding wars and competition. When there's a ton of inventory, you might be the only offer out there, and that's the buying environment that we all should strive for people that are looking to buy their first home, or someone like me looking to move up to a bigger home. An environment where you're the only offer, and you can actually even come in with a low ball offer. I remember that market in 2010, 11, and 12. That was just the best buyer's market that I've seen out here in California in the 20 plus years that I've been out here, since I moved here from Michigan in the year 2000. But the inventory only up 8.3% year over year. Inventory actually dropped here from August, which was the peak. We were at about 1.8 million homes on the market nationwide. That's all types of homes. Attached homes, which is a condo or townhome, and then of course detached homes or single family residences, combined 1.8 million. As of November, the December numbers are not out yet, but as of November, we're down to about 1.5 million. So a drop of about 300,000 listings nationwide. Also, some other numbers here, some data to think about to get a snapshot of the housing market. The number of days on the market right now is 37 days. That's up 15 days from 1 year ago. So compared to November 2021, it was 22 days. Now we're up to 37 days, the median days on the market before a home sells. So that's an increase, not quite double, but pretty significant increase there. Months of supply, we're up to about 3 months of supply right now, meaning if no more homes came on the market, it would take 3 months to get rid of all the homes that are for sale right now, based on how quickly homes are selling. So 3 months of supply are on the market right now. 1 year ago, it was 2 months of supply, right? So again, not double, but a pretty significant increase. So these are the slowest months for the housing market, and we're going to see what's going to happen this spring. Of course, we'll keep you updated between now and then. And let's round it out here with a bit more data here. Homes with price drops is now at about 21%. It was about 10%. So that actually has doubled. So the number of homes with price drops has doubled, a more noticeable number in this case. Homes sold above list price. Almost, actually about 26%. 26% of homes sold above list price. That's down about 18% from last year. So slowing market, definitely not a housing crash. So we're going to keep an eye on it. I hope everyone liked this housing update. Now let's go ahead and wrap this up with a quick few shout outs here to people supporting this channel. And first was an email I got. I finally got caught up on all my emails. I had well over 100 emails from that video maybe a week ago when I gave out my email. And this is Alex out of Colorado. You didn't tell me what city you're in. If you did, it's a small city I've never heard of, but you said, thank you so much for breaking down the housing market. I waited to buy a home. They ended up paying $40,000 less for his home than he would have if he would have bought sooner. He was thinking about buying back in March of this year, and I didn't give him any advice. I just talked about the rising rates and what was going to happen. And, so congratulations to you. Two things he said there. One is the home was $40,000 less than when he first thought about buying it. The other one was that he ended up saving a bigger down payment between the time he was going to buy the home and closer towards the end of the year. He just bought it in October. So two benefits there, lower home price and a bigger down payment. So that's a win-win there. I think home prices are going to go down further. But if you can get in at a price now where it's affordable, you can afford it based on your budget, and maybe even cheaper than what you can rent the home for, then go for it, because you're going to be spending money on rent anyway. So even if the home price does go down more after you bought it, look at the money you're saving compared to rent. So you have to factor that in. You got to look at the big picture on it. And finally, thank you to the following viewers. And some of these are screen names, right? So they're going to seem a little bit strange. Maria Rivero, once again, thank you, Maria. Love your support. Thank you so much. Pax OR32, thank you. Lolo, that's Lolo, Lolo, thank you for your support. Sassy, thank you very much, Sassy. I really appreciate your support. WYT, thank you for your support. Thank you very much for your support. 3 different donations there. And finally, Blue Steel, thank you very much for your support. And a couple more here. Thank you to Green Rentals LLC for the support. To Jane Triplet, thank you. And John Reyes. John, you also said Merry Christmas. You sent me that obviously about a week ago. So Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for your support. Thanks to everybody here for watching this video today. Please give a like and subscribe if you're not already, if you'd like to help support my work. And we'll see you back here on this channel very soon. I hope to see you. Bye for now, everybody. Peace.